register, but 1,000 people that were registering, both buyers and sellers. Of course, more sellers than buyers. And we received nearly 100 zero-day, basically, or proposed vulnerabilities, which is a lot. We didn't expect so much. We were expecting to receive maybe 10, 15, no more. But we received nearly 100, 93 actually, at August 27th. And what kind of vulnerabilities we received? Well, we received web application vulnerabilities. You know, now web application hacking, it's quite common. So a web application vulnerability could be very much effective and could have a big value. Doesn't matter if you just need a browser to do it. The idea of such vulnerability and how to exploit it has a value. And we received 24 of these. 17 vulnerabilities related to Linux, 45 related to Windows and Windows application, 2 related to Mac OS X, and 5 other general vulnerabilities. Like, for example, we received a vulnerability, the new iPhone vulnerability, which is allowing the buyer of the iPhone to unlock the telephone and to use the telephone on different operators than the American one. Well, we tested it works, but we didn't place on the stock market, on the marketplace. We didn't put it on the marketplace because actually we were thinking that's not a vulnerability. It's just a wrong implementation of something, but it's not a software or a hardware vulnerability. It's nice, it's cool. Now I know how to unlock an iPhone. Good. But it cannot be placed on the marketplace. Or some network appliances vulnerabilities, we decided not to place. And we had also 33 invalid or rejected because they couldn't be, for different reasons, placed on the marketplace. We will see some examples. For example, this one. This is related to a case which actually happened to us. A guy came knocking at our door telling, listen, I have a vulnerability that works on most of the online casinos in the world and allows the user to do tricks through which he can gain money. So we were thinking, what is this? Something we should publish or something we should not publish? And of course, we decided not to publish it. Why? Because it's not related to a system, particular system, general system, but it's something related to something that has been developed for specific purposes of few organizations and can be really used for criminal purposes. So we told to this guy, listen, we are not interested. It's cool. What we do, we advise you to knock at the door of these online casinos or even to the vendor of such a system and to try to sell your consultancy in a legitimate way rather than try to cash money from selling it to the black market, because I'm quite sure he was thinking to sell it immediately to the black market instead of selling it through our marketplace. Or, for example, a vulnerability to hijack MySpace accounts. How can you sell something like that? I don't think such kind of research should be traded through our marketplace. I think that real legitimate security research should be traded through our marketplace. So I expect in the future that we will reject more and more security research which is not fitting our standards. How did we vet buyers and sellers? It's very simple. Identification. He wants to sell or he wants to buy, for example, vulnerability. Okay, who are you? Tell me your name. He tells my name, his name. Okay, it's not enough. Send me, it can be fake. Send me a copy of your passport. He sends a copy of his passport by fax. Good, the name is the same, but it's not enough. It can be fake. Give me a landline telephone number. He gives me a landline telephone number, and we randomly check if he's available when we want, not when he wants. He answered to the phone. The landline telephone number is working. It's true. The name is the same. The passport copy is consistent to the name. Good. It's not enough. Still, it could make some tricks, hooking a landline telephone number to an anonymous cell phone. In the very end, what is happening, it is that in the case he is either a buyer or a seller, he must have a transaction, economical transaction with us. So what we need is, we need to have bank coordinates on the same name of the person in the passport copy. And you know, you cannot open a bank with a fake account. You have to go to the bank. Yes, I know you can, Gaius. Ordinary people, let's say you are extraordinary person, but ordinary people, they don't have the skills to open bank accounts with a fake. I mean, the bank is entitled to identify the person. And we rely on such identification. So if you put all of this together, if you really want to buy from us, you have this hassle of creating fake documentation, fake bank accounts, fake telephone lines. What the hell? Just go on the black market if you want. If you are a criminal guy and you want to buy something anonymously, they will be happy to sell it to you. You don't come to us. I'm sure they're not coming to our marketplace if there is such identification process enforced. And we have it at least. Other vendors, they don't. You subscribe to their own vulnerability sharing club, you pay 50,000 bucks, and they're happy to give it to you as many vulnerabilities as you want. Doesn't matter what it's stated on the newspaper. They're working for a budget, and they're happy to cash, full stop. So, but we vetted already people who were sending us fake documentation, and we were seeing it. Now, we have a few minutes left, 4 minutes.
We're out of time.
Out because I started at 10.
We have time for questions too.
Okay, so very quickly, how is the relationship with vendors? Well, this picture, it is how we wish the relationship with vendors was. No, quite friendly, but actually it's like this. Vendors are so far watching us, taking contact with us, officially saying we will never buy from such a marketplace, but on the other side, they are inviting us to conferences, they are offering us a beer, so we will see what will happen in the future. Of course, we will be very happy to cooperate with vendors, but we cannot initiate the process. We would be accused of blackmailing, so we won't do it by ourselves, but we welcome the vendors to do it. And what we did in these months, we were establishing alliances with private security researchers, with security companies, which are doing research, with hardware manufacturers. We will come out soon with a press release related to some hardware we are going to produce. Consultancy companies that are willing to base their services on the vulnerabilities which is passing through the marketplace, and the vulnerability researchers will cash out of this, of course. And competitors. Some of the competitors, potential competitors, they turned to us into a positive approach, and they try to find a way to cooperate. And of course, we are very open to cooperate with everybody. The last slide. What we wish for the future. You know, I usually do this trick, what is this? In my lectures, in my speeches, and the people are saying, oh, this is a network card. And then I ask, how do you know it's a network card? Oh, there is the plug here. Okay, but if you take away the plug, do you recognize it's a network card? Of course not. It's just a bunch of hardware. So the thing is that you think it's a network card, but it could be embedding any sort of spying hardware and software. After all, it's a computer itself. It has a chip, it has a functionality, and so on. What does it mean? We are used to buy and to use things, maybe to treat, to manage our critical data, and those things are not open sourced. We don't know what's inside. So what we wished in the future, and I'm talking especially to companies like Microsoft, I would like to see open source software and hardware, even Microsoft software. After all, what's the problem? It's patented. If it is patented, it's protected. There is no need to have closed source. And there is no need to sue the person who is doing reverse engineering. If it's patented, it doesn't have any sense. And this would, if software and hardware companies would adopt such practice, would actually eliminate most of the troubles you have in the software/hardware security market. Anyway, enough of time. Time for questions?
I am sure the audience do have questions, and while we are limited in time, we will allow 2 questions, Roberto?
Two questions.
Out of which the better one will get an antivirus kit. Any questions from the floor?
Questions?
Thomas.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You mentioned just now
I don't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello? Is it better? Okay. You said earlier that you take a lot of trouble in verifying both the buyer's and the seller's identity. You talk about bank account information, name, landline, and all those details. What do you do with all those information that you collect?
What do we do?
Yeah.
We
what
keep
do you
it.
Really do with that?
There is one person in the company whose task is to verify this information and to keep it. I give you an example. It was a journalist today who wanted an interview from me, and this journalist was asking me, how many security researches did you receive in the last week? And I wasn't able to answer because I'm not the guy in the company who has such information. So what we did, we divided precisely in the company the task of the people. I don't know anything about security research. I don't own any single of the exploits, and I don't own any information of the people who are sending the details. So it's the same for all the company's people. Only one person is entitled to manage such data.
No, I mean those information that you collected from the buyers and sellers, the identity of the buyers, the identity of the sellers. What do you, when I said you, I mean your company, WabiSabiLabi. What do you do with those information collected about the buyers and sellers?
We store it.
You what?
Store it. We store it.
You store it?
Store it. We store it electronically. There is let's say, I don't give you details for security reasons, of course, but we need to keep it, such information, because we need to demonstrate to the authorities, in case there is a problem, that we did our best to identify the people. So such information is kept in our database, but not released to anyone, unless it's really necessary.
Thank you, Roberto. One last question from the floor. Quick one, yes?
I saw a lot of the legal issues you had, and I think they're all going to be potentially problematic, but I also see that there's a potentially very profitable niche in the industry down the road. One thing you didn't touch upon that I was thinking about was a lot of security researchers are not really independent. They're working for some security company or something like that. And if they're developing this information somehow in conjunction with their work, if this becomes more and more profitable, are the companies that they work for going to be claiming the intellectual property rights to the things you're selling for them?
Yeah, you're right. And this was a problem from our lawyers. And when you initiate the process of cooperation with us, in the agreements that we exchange, you state for every single vulnerability that the owner of such intellectual property, it's you, and during the research of such vulnerability, you weren't acting on behalf of third parties. So it's written in the legal contracts which are exchanged during the process. And there is no other way. I mean, if you buy a car and you sign a contract, who tells to the car seller that you will actually pay for the car, or you will show up and buy it? I mean, you rely on contracts. Our society is relied on contracts, NDAs, and so on.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Roberto. Any further questions? Please feel free to approach him during these 2 days. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll let you decide which one had the better question. So.
Actually, I prefer the first one, in the sense that it touched a very important point.
All right. Okay. Thomas, this will be yours. I'll pass it to you shortly. Yeah. In the meantime, again, thank you very much, Mr. Roberto Preatoni. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move immediately to the next presentation, by Mr. Franco Anfan. Give him a few minutes to actually set up the